Hey everybody, welcome to Visual Communication and Media. My name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you. Hope everybody's having a great week and welcome to term 2. That's correct. And you're probably asking yourself, what is visual communication? And how does it tie into my industry? I'm going for something a little bit more hands-on, or I'm going into nursing, or I'm going into something that doesn't deal with some type of design or drawing and everything's straightforward and told me in a lot of things. But in reality, you have to realize the fact that every industry and every company or any type of communication involves visuals. 80% of communication is visuals, whether it be trying to figure out letters and words to tie into sentence structure, trying to understand a symbol or a sign to communicate some type of direction or some type of point of view, or you're trying to understand some type of visual that has a lot of different some image that has a lot of different visuals tied in there to communicate a deeper message. There's so much more that's allowed to it, to where you're trying to understand charts for a patient, or you're going into looking at a design for code. Visuals are everywhere. Everything's communicated. And with this class, I'm going to teach you a couple ways to where these visuals and visual design and how to communicate visually can help you in no matter what industry that ties into. So again, welcome. My name's Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you. And just to get a little bit of background on me, I started all sorts of jobs. Got my associate's degree in mechanical engineering, played hockey for Penn State, but after I tore my knee out, I was working with my dad for the airlines, and then eventually I was a big competitive gamer. And I played a lot of games like Gran Turismo, Battlefront 2, multiple MMOs. I bounced around. But eventually I wanted to get into the game industry and work in video games because it was my dream and it was my passion. And I ended up going to Full Sail. I double mastered in project management and game design. I got my bachelor's degree from entertainment business from UCF. And I got hired on as a QA guy in Activision and worked my way up to a UX designer, which is a user experience designer, which dealt with visuals and building images and icons and buttons to where it was easy used for software. And then eventually I became a producer and a production manager, and I used to work with multiple teams and worked with networking and really understood strategy of the business and using different types of features and all that. They all tie into each other, and eventually I worked on over 40, 50 games in my career. I worked for the military doing VR development. I've bounced around and done a lot of different things. And I've used visuals to help communicate a lot of those aspects, from process flows to understanding user interfaces for websites and video games, to even trying to communicate simply through messages and email. Visuals are everywhere, and they also play a part in no matter what industry you're part of too. And I can't wait to talk about that. But just give you all a heads up, I have 3 types of assignments. I have my live lecture assignments, which we'll talk about in a minute, my discussions, and then my written assignments. My written assignments are always due on Sunday. Last day to turn them in will be Friday, that's September 19th date. And then my discussions, which my initial posts are always due on Tuesday, reply post Saturday. Except for week 1, everything should be due on Saturday this week. So don't worry about that, because obviously we start lecture on a Wednesday. It's kind of hard to get that first initial post in on Tuesday. So everything should be due on Saturday for week 1. But the rest of the weeks, initial posts are Tuesday, reply posts are Saturday. And then final day will be the 19th as always. Now, live lectures, they're always going to be on Monday each week, except for week 1. That's going to be on Thursday. And the announcement for the link to where to go join that is also on the announcement page. Also, there, it's on your Teams page as well, which I'll show you how to do that during lecture and everything, where to find all that stuff, including the lecture schedule. You can also find the lecture schedule on your calendars as well. Those are all there. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Check out the Teams page. There's a Teams announcement as well to direct you to the channels that I have for office hours and lectures. And you'll find a lot of that stuff is tied in there. And you'll see that the files section has the schedule, and then also has any place where I place lecture material and everything. I'll show all this on Thursday, which will be at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. And then it's okay if you have multiple jobs, or if you're busy, you have family. I have that too. I work 2 jobs as well. But I want to let y'all know I have recordings, and I usually post them that night after a lecture's done. And you should have it right there. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, they're always there. And I always talk about the assignments each lecture at the end. I tell you how to do your live lecture assignments. I go over the assignments, and then not only that, I go over all the lecture material as well, and where to find all this information so it can help you out. And that's pretty much what goes on during lecture. Now, The big thing that I'm not lenient on a lot of times is, and I know I give a lot of direct feedback, and I'll show you how I give feedback during lecture, but the one big thing that I am is your lecture assignments. They are tied to your attendance. It's in my syllabus and everything, so you need to complete them by Sunday each week so you can get your attendance points, and also you can get those 5 extra points. And I'll show you how to fill that out on Thursday as well. So you'll see everything and how to go about this. But make sure you do this each week because it's pass or fail, all right? So if it goes past Sunday and it's Monday, it becomes an automatic 0 and you lose your attendance out for that week. So please make sure you turn in your live lecture assignments. Those matter because those 30 points right there, 5 times 6 is 30 because we have 6 lectures. That might get you from a B to an A or a C to a B. Those will save you, so please keep that in mind. We'll go over everything during lecture on Thursday. Take a look at the announcements to find the Teams link so you can find the Teams page. And then also take a look at the announcements as well to find the lecture link for week 1, and that should be there also. All right, sweet. And then pretty much else I have is just make be courteous and respectful in your discussion posts. Be thorough. I don't want just one sentence or a couple words for a reply post or a discussion post. I want to see you put thought. We have a lot of analysis and everything. We give a lot of feedback to other students. So please make sure to give me at least 2 paragraphs per discussion post, 4 to 5 sentences a piece, and give detail where everything's at. You're going to back up your answers with examples from other things and other references, and that's going to help you with your arguments and everything when you're doing your analysis work for me, and that's a big thing. And also late assignments. I take 5% off each day they're late, and then once I did 7 days, it goes to a 0 automatically. I'm a little lenient on this. As long as you get it within the week, I should be fine. However, if it goes past 7, that definitely goes to a 0 right out the gate, so do keep that. And I only have other 2 rules. Just discover and have some fun. I hope something that in this class will teach you about visuals and help kind of pertain to what you're going through in real life, or that's tied to your industry as well. But we'll go over all that during lecture and everything. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'm hoping to see everybody for lecture. Check the announcements for all the rubrics that I've posted and all the information that should be there. Please also check the status bars and all the different areas. They're not only just your announcements, but your content material. And that should help you out. Other than that, be safe, have fun, enjoy. I hope to see everybody for lecture on Thursday. I appreciate y'all being here. Take it easy and enjoy the week. All right, see y'all on Thursday. Bye-bye.